The massive space station called Nexus floated in the darkness between two star systems. It had been the meeting place for alien races for over 300 years. Ships from dozens of different worlds docked at its ports every day. The station looked like a giant wheel spinning slowly in space with lights blinking along its edges. Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of his ship, looking at the alien station through the main screen. His ship was called the UES Horizon, and it was humanity's first vessel to travel between the stars. The ship was not very big compared to some of the alien vessels they had seen on their journey here. It was painted white and blue with Earth's symbol on the side. Commander Lisa Barnes sat at the communication station next to him. She was a tall woman with short brown hair and sharp green eyes.
She had been working with alien languages for 2 years preparing for this moment.
The aliens had been sending signals to Earth for a long time, and she had learned to understand many of their words. "Captain, the aliens are asking us to dock at Port 7, Lisa said as she listened to the incoming message. "They say a welcome ceremony has been prepared for us." Jake nodded and looked around his bridge crew. There were 12 humans on this ship, and they all knew this moment would change everything. Earth had been alone in space for so long, and now they were about to meet dozens of different alien races. "Take us in slowly," Jake told his pilot. "Let them see we come in peace." The Horizon moved toward the docking port as other ships watched from nearby. A massive vessel with 6 arms extending from its center belonged to the Krillian Empire. The aliens inside looked like giant insects with hard shells and multiple eyes. Their ships were dark gray and covered in weapon ports. Admiral Chen Wei commanded the Krillian fleet from his flagship. He was 8 feet tall with a black shell that gleamed under the station lights. His forearms moved as he studied the human ship on his screens. To him, the humans looked weak and their ship seemed basic compared to Krillian technology. "These humans are no threat to anyone," he told his officers. "Their ship barely has any weapons and their technology looks very old." On another ship, the Zephyrians were also watching. They were tall, thin aliens with blue skin and large heads. Their leader, Hive Speaker Clix, had connected his mind to millions of other Zephyrians across the galaxy. Through this connection, they shared all knowledge and made decisions together. "The humans register as a Level 2 civilization," Clix reported to the station commanders. "They have basic space travel but no advanced weapons or shields. They will need protection from stronger races." The Valdorians had sent their own ship to welcome the humans. These aliens looked more like humans but had silver skin and lived for thousands of years. Captain Vordan had seen many new races join the galactic community over his long life. Most of them were eager to trade and learn from older civilizations. As the Horizon docked with the station, Jake and Lisa prepared to meet the aliens face to face. They put on their best uniforms and checked their translation devices one more time. The airlock opened with a soft hiss, and they stepped into the alien station. The corridor was huge with a ceiling 3 times, taller than anything on Earth. The walls were made of some kind of glowing metal that provided soft light. Aliens of different shapes and sizes walked past them going about their daily business. A group of station officials waited to greet them. The leader was a Valdorian named Council Speaker Nal S. She was 7 feet tall with flowing silver hair and eyes that seemed to hold ancient wisdom. "Welcome humans to Station Nexus," she said in perfect English. "We have been waiting to meet your people for a long time." Jake stepped forward and offered his hand in the human greeting. "Thank you for welcoming us. We are honored to be here and hope to learn from all of your people." The ceremony took place in a large hall where hundreds of aliens had gathered to see the new species. Jake and Lisa walked down a long pathway while aliens on both sides watched them with curiosity. Some aliens took pictures while others whispered among themselves. Admiral Chen Wei sat with other military leaders from various empires. He noticed how small and weak the humans looked compared to Krillian warriors. Their bodies seemed soft and their weapons were tiny. He made notes about human capabilities for his intelligence reports. During the speeches, Lisa listened carefully to how different aliens spoke about humans. Most of them seemed friendly, but she noticed some groups seemed less interested. The Krillians kept looking at star charts of human space and talking quietly among themselves. When it was Jake's turn to speak, he stood at the podium and looked out at hundreds of alien faces. "My people have dreamed of this day for generations," he began. "We come to the galaxy seeking friendship and knowledge. Earth offers our culture and our friendship to all peaceful races." The crowd applauded politely, but Jake could tell many aliens saw humans as just another weak species that needed guidance. He and Lisa had expected this reaction. Earth's leaders had told them that humans would need to prove themselves worthy of respect. After the ceremony, Jake and Lisa were given quarters on the station to stay while diplomatic talks continued. As they walked through the corridors, they could feel alien eyes watching them and judging them. That night, as Jake looked out the window at the stars, he thought about Earth and all the people counting on this mission. He knew the aliens thought humans were weak and primitive. Soon they would learn how wrong they were about that. 3 weeks had passed since the first meeting at Station Nexus. The Krillian Empire had been growing more aggressive toward human space with each passing day. Admiral Chen Wei had moved 15 battle groups to surround the area around Earth's solar system. His ships formed a blockade that would prevent any human vessels from leaving or entering. Jake Morrison had been promoted to admiral after the successful first contact. He now commanded all human forces in alien space from his new flagship. He stood in the command center of Station Nexus watching the Krillian fleet movements on the large tactical display. "They have us completely surrounded," Commander Lisa Barnes reported as she studied the enemy positions. "Chen Wei has over 200 ships out there and more arriving every hour." The Alien Council members were meeting an emergency session to discuss the crisis. Most of them expected humans to immediately ask for protection under galactic law. Smaller species always sought help from stronger ones when threatened by empires like the Krillians. Council Speaker Nales approached Jake with concern in her ancient eyes. "Admiral Morrison, your people should consider accepting Valdorian protection. The Krillians are a powerful empire and humans cannot face them alone." Jake smiled calmly and shook his head. "Thank you for the offer, but that will not be necessary. We would like to request permission to demonstrate our defensive capabilities." The council members looked at each other with surprise. No species had ever refused protection when facing a Krillian blockade. Hive Speaker Clix connected with his people across the galaxy to share this unusual development. "Admiral Morrison," Clix said through his translation device, "our calculations show human ships are not equipped for major space battles. Perhaps you do not understand the danger your people are facing." Jake activated his communication device and sent a coded message toward Earth's solar system. The message was simple, but would change everything the aliens thought they knew about humanity. Far away in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, massive structures began to move. Hidden shipyards that had been building in secret for 50 years started their final preparations. Automated systems came online and began moving enormous vessels from their construction bays. Admiral Ryan Collins had been waiting for this moment his entire career. He commanded the UES Valkyrie from its bridge deep inside the asteroid belt. The ship was over 2 miles long and armed with weapons that no alien species had ever seen. Its hull was made of materials that could withstand direct hits from the most powerful known weapons. "All ships report ready for deployment," his tactical officer reported. "The Iron Fleet is prepared to move on your command." Ryan looked at the tactical display showing hundreds of human vessels hidden throughout the solar system. Ships had been built in secret locations around Jupiter's moons and Saturn's rings. Even more vessels waited in the dark spaces beyond Pluto where no alien sensors could detect them. Captain Maria Santos commanded the UES Thunder from Jupiter's orbital shipyards. Her ship was a heavy cruiser designed for close combat with alien vessels. The Thunder carried enough firepower to destroy an entire Krillian battle group by itself. "Thunder to Valkyrie," Maria reported over the communication system. "Heavy cruiser squadron is ready to depart. All weapon systems are charged and ready." Commander Alex Turner led a squadron of fast attack ships from the outer rim of the solar system. His vessels were smaller than the big battleships but carried advanced electronic warfare systems that could blind alien sensors. Turner had been training his crews for this moment for 10 years. Dr. Elena Rodriguez watched from Earth's orbital command center as the fleet prepared to reveal itself. She had designed most of the technology that made these ships so powerful. Her innovations in armor and energy systems gave human vessels advantages that alien empires could never have imagined. "All fleet commanders, this is Dr. Rodriguez," she announced on the command frequency. "Remember that our ships are designed to be superior to anything the aliens have built. Trust in your training and your technology." Intelligence Officer Ben Parker had been monitoring alien communications for years. He knew exactly how the Krillians fought and what tactics they would use. His reports had helped design every human ship and weapon system. Admiral Collins, Ben reported from his station. Krillian forces are moving into attack formation around our space. They expect us to surrender without a fight. Ryan smiled as he gave the order that would shock the galaxy. All ships move to jump positions. It is time to show these aliens what humans are really capable of. The Iron Fleet began to move from its hiding places throughout the solar system. Massive battleships emerged from asteroid fields, where they had been built in total secrecy. Cruisers and destroyers appeared from behind moons and planets where alien sensors had never detected them. At Station Nexus, the alien council members were still trying to convince Jake to accept protection. They had no idea that the largest military fleet in galactic history was about to arrive in their space. Admiral Morrison, Council Speaker Nales, pleaded, "You must reconsider. The Krillians will destroy any ships you send against them." Jake checked his personal communication device and saw the message he had been waiting for. The Iron Fleet was ready to jump to their location. Soon the galaxy would learn that humans were not the weak species everyone believed them to be. "Council members," Jake announced with confidence, "I suggest you move your ships to a safe distance. Human reinforcements are about to arrive and they do not like to be crowded." Suddenly, space around Station Nexus filled with brilliant flashes of light. Jump portals opened and human warships began emerging in formations that stretched for thousands of miles. The Valkyrie appeared first, followed by dozens of other massive vessels. Admiral Chen Wei's command staff scrambled to analyze what they were seeing. Their sensors could barely comprehend the size and power of the human fleet that had just materialized around them. "Impossible," Chen Wei hissed as he studied the tactical display. "Where did these ships come from and how did they build so many without us knowing?" The Iron Fleet took defensive positions around Station Nexus while Admiral Collins opened communication channels with the Krillian blockade. His voice was calm but carried the authority of overwhelming military power. "Krillian vessels, this is Admiral Collins of the Human Defense Fleet. You have 30 minutes to withdraw from human space or we will consider your presence an act of war." News of the human victory over the Krillian Empire spread across the galaxy faster than light itself. Communication networks that connected thousands of worlds buzzed with reports that seemed impossible to believe. The species that had been dismissed as primitive had just destroyed the most feared military force in known space. Ambassador Nicole Foster stood before the emergency session of the Galactic Council as representatives from hundreds of worlds gathered to discuss this unprecedented event. She was a calm woman with silver hair and blue eyes that seemed to see everything. Nicole had been Earth's top diplomat for 20 years, and she understood exactly how this moment would reshape galactic politics. "Council members," Nicole began as she looked around the vast chamber. "Humanity did not seek this conflict. We came to the galaxy in peace and friendship, but we will defend ourselves against any threat." The alien representatives whispered among themselves as they tried to understand what had happened. For centuries, the galactic order had been stable with powerful empires controlling weaker species. Now everything had changed in a single battle. General Peter Hayes sat beside Nicole as the Council's military advisor tried to explain human tactics. Peter was a tall man with gray hair and scars from battles on Earth before humanity reached the stars. He had designed the strategies that made the human fleet so effective. "Our military philosophy is simple," Peter explained to the confused alien generals. "We build ships that can absorb damage and keep fighting. We train our crews to work as teams. We fight to win, not just to look impressive." The Valdorian scientist Corel had been studying recordings of the battle for days, trying to understand human technology. His people were ancient and wise, but they had never seen ships designed like human vessels. Where galactic races built elegant craft, humans had created weapons of war. "These human ships follow no known design principles," Corel reported to the Council. "They are built like fortresses that can move through space. Their armor absorbs energy that should destroy them completely." Captain Jake Morrison walked through the corridors of Station Nexus as alien beings stopped to stare at him. Yesterday he had been seen as just another representative of a weak species. Today he was treated with the respect reserved for the most powerful military leaders in the galaxy. Hive speaker clicks of the Zephyrians connected his mind to millions of his people across known space. Through their shared consciousness, they tried to understand how they had been so wrong about human capabilities. The Zephyrians prided themselves on accurate analysis, but they had completely misjudged humanity. "The humans have been planning this revelation for decades," Clix announced to the Council through his translation device. They allowed us to underestimate them while they built the most powerful fleet in galactic history. Commander Lisa Barnes managed the flood of communication requests from alien governments. Every major power wanted to establish diplomatic relations with humanity immediately. Species that had ignored human messages for months now desperately sought meetings with human representatives. Admiral Morrison, Lisa reported as she sorted through hundreds of priority messages. The Aquarian Federation is requesting immediate alliance discussions. The Crystal Collective wants human protection from Kryllian expansion. Even the Stellar Dynasty has sent diplomatic overtures. The mighty Stellar Dynasty had ruled a quarter of the galaxy for over 1,000 years. Their golden ships were symbols of power and ancient wisdom. Now even they recognized that humanity had become a force that could not be ignored. Intelligence reports flooded in from across the galaxy as alien governments tried to understand the scope of human military power. Spy networks that had dismissed human activities as primitive suddenly realized they had been watching the construction of the greatest war machine in galactic history. Admiral Ryan Collins commanded his expanded fleet from the bridge of the Valkyrie as more human ships arrived from the Sol system. The Iron Fleet was growing larger every day as hidden shipyards continued their production. What the galaxy had seen was only the beginning of human military capabilities. "Sir," his intelligence officer reported, "long-range sensors are detecting human construction activities in 12 different star systems. It appears we have been building ships in locations throughout this region of space." The revelation that humans had been secretly building fleets in multiple systems shocked even their new allies. The level of planning and preparation suggested that humanity had been preparing for galactic contact for much longer than anyone had realized. Dr. Elena Rodriguez addressed a gathering of alien scientists who wanted to understand human technology. She stood before beings whose civilizations were thousands of years old and calmly explained innovations that made their advanced technology seem primitive. "Our approach to ship design focuses on survivability and firepower," Elena explained to the fascinated alien researchers. "We build our vessels to absorb punishment that would destroy other ships and continue fighting." The alien scientists asked hundreds of questions about human materials and construction techniques. They could not understand how a species so new to space travel had developed technology that surpassed their own ancient knowledge. Captain Maria Santos led a patrol of human ships through space that had been controlled by the Kryllian Empire for centuries. Her presence demonstrated that human forces would now maintain peace in regions where alien empires had failed to provide security. Thunder to Fleet Command. Maria reported as her ship passed a convoy of merchant vessels from different worlds. Trade routes in this sector are now secure under human protection. Piracy and aggressive expansion have ended. The merchant ships belonged to species that had been forced to pay tribute to the Kryllian Empire for generations. Now they traveled under human protection and their crews could hardly believe their freedom. Lieutenant Colonel Sam Mitchell established the first human military base on an alien world is grateful. Colonists welcomed his Marines. The base would serve as a symbol of human commitment to protecting peaceful species from aggressive empires. Back on Earth, billions of humans watched news reports of their species' sudden rise to galactic prominence. The world that had felt alone in the universe for so long was now recognized as the home of the galaxy's newest superpower. Admiral Collins received reports that human shipyards were operating at maximum capacity to meet demand for new vessels. The galaxy had learned to respect human military power, but they also wanted human protection for their own worlds and trade routes. "Fleet command to all ships," Collins announced on the command frequency. "Our mission has expanded beyond defending human space. We are now responsible for maintaining peace and stability throughout this region of the galaxy." The transformation was complete. In less than a month, humanity had gone from being unknown primitives to the most respected military force in galactic space. The age of human expansion was about to begin, and every alien species knew that the galaxy would never be the same. Admiral Chenwei stared at his tactical display in complete shock. The human fleet that had appeared around Station Nexus was larger than anything the Kryllian Empire had ever assembled. Hundreds of massive warships hung in space like sleeping giants waiting to be awakened. "Analysis report," Chenwei demanded from his intelligence officers. "How is this possible?" His chief analyst was a smaller Kryllian with specialized equipment for studying alien technology. Admiral, these ships are built unlike anything in our databases. They appear to be designed purely for warfare with no consideration for efficiency or elegance. The human vessels looked like flying fortresses made of dark metal and covered in weapon ports. Where alien ships were smooth and graceful, the human ships were angular and brutal. Every surface seemed designed to absorb damage while dealing out destruction in return. Admiral Ryan Collins stood on the bridge of the Valkyrie watching the Krillian fleet through his main display. He had studied their tactics for years and knew exactly how they would respond to this situation. The Krillians were warriors, but they had never faced an enemy like humanity. "Sir, the Krillians are refusing to withdraw," his communication officer reported. "Admiral Chen Wei is demanding that we surrender our ships for inspection." Ryan smiled coldly and activated the fleet communication system. "All ships prepare for combat operations. Rules of engagement are weapons-free. Show them what human engineering can do." Captain Maria Santos received the order aboard the UES Thunder as her ship moved into attack position. Her heavy cruiser was designed for close-range combat, where human advantages would be most effective. The Thunder's armor could withstand punishments that would vaporize alien vessels. "All hands, this is the captain," Maria announced over the ship's communication system. "We are about to show the galaxy why humans do not back down from a fight." Battle stations. The Thunder's crew had trained for this moment for years. They knew their ship was superior to anything the aliens had built, but they also knew this battle would determine humanity's place in the galaxy. Every human life depended on their performance in the next few hours. Commander Alex Turner led his squadron of fast attack ships toward the Krillian left flank. His vessels carried electronic warfare systems that could blind alien sensors and disrupt their communications. Turner's job was to create chaos in the enemy formation. "Ghost Squadron, this is Ghost Leader," Alex announced to his pilots. "Begin electronic attack on Krillian command ships. Make them fight blind and confused." The human electronic warfare systems activated, and suddenly Krillian ships began losing contact with each other. Their sophisticated sensor networks went dark as human jamming signals overwhelmed their frequencies. Admiral Chen Wei found himself unable to coordinate his forces. Dr. Elena Rodriguez watched the battle begin from her command center on Earth. Her revolutionary armor technology was about to be tested against the most powerful weapons in the galaxy. She had designed human ships to absorb incredible amounts of damage while continuing to fight. The first Krillian attack came from their long-range energy weapons. Brilliant beams of concentrated plasma struck the human ships, expecting to see them destroyed instantly. Instead, the human vessels absorbed the energy and continued advancing toward the enemy fleet. "Impossible!" Chen Wei gasped as he watched his most powerful weapons have no effect on human armor. "Our plasma cannons should have destroyed those ships completely." The human ships closed to short range where their own weapons would be most effective. Unlike alien energy weapons, humans had developed kinetic systems that fired solid projectiles at incredible speeds. These weapons were crude by galactic standards, but devastatingly effective. Captain Santos brought the Thunder within 1,000 miles of a Krillian heavy cruiser and opened fire with her main guns. The solid projectiles punched through alien shields like they were made of paper and tore massive holes in the enemy ship's hull. The Krillian vessel tried to return fire, but human ships were designed to fight at close range. The Thunder's armor absorbed the alien weapons, while her own guns continued to pound the enemy vessel into scrap metal. Lieutenant Colonel Sam Mitchell led human marine forces in boarding pods toward damaged Krillian ships. His Marines wore power armor that made them look like mechanical warriors from an ancient human legend. They carried weapons designed to work in space and alien atmospheres. "Marines prepare for hostile boarding action," Sam announced as his pod approached a crippled Krillian destroyer. "Remember, these aliens have never faced human soldiers in close combat." The boarding pod cut through the alien ship's hull like a hot knife through butter. Sam and his Marines poured into the ship's corridors where they encountered Krillian warriors for the first time. The aliens were larger than humans, but their weapons could not penetrate human armor. The battle became a one-sided massacre as human Marines advanced through the alien ship. Krillian warriors who had terrorized dozens of species found themselves helpless against human soldiers, who seemed unstoppable. Back in space, Admiral Collins coordinated his fleet's attack with precision that amazed alien observers. Human ships moved in formations that no alien species had ever developed. They supported each other with overlapping fields of fire while advancing relentlessly toward their targets. The Krillian fleet began to break apart under the sustained human assault. Ships that had never been damaged in battle found themselves crippled or destroyed by human weapons they could not defend against. Admiral Chen Wei watched his empire's reputation crumble along with his fleet. All ships retreat immediately, Chen Wei ordered as another of his battleships exploded under human fire. We cannot win this battle, but Admiral Collins had no intention of letting the Krillian fleet escape. He had waited too long for this moment to show the galaxy what humans were capable of. The alien empires needed to learn that humanity would not be bullied or threatened. Pursuit formations engage fleeing enemy vessels, Collins commanded. No Krillian ship leaves this system until we have captured or destroyed their entire fleet. Human ships pursued the retreating Krillians with speed that shocked alien observers. The human vessels seemed to have unlimited endurance, while alien ships began to show signs of system failures and energy depletion. One by one, the Krillian ships were hunted down and either destroyed or forced to surrender. Admiral Chen Wei's flagship was surrounded by 6 human vessels and forced to lower its shields. The most powerful admiral in the Krillian Empire found himself a prisoner of the species he had thought was weak and primitive. When the battle ended 3 hours later, the entire Krillian blockade had been eliminated. Not a single human ship had been destroyed, though several showed battle damage that would have been fatal to alien vessels. The galaxy had just witnessed the birth of a new military superpower. Admiral Collins opened communication channels to Station Nexus, where alien representatives had watched the entire battle in stunned silence. This is Admiral Collins to Station Nexus. The Krillian threat has been eliminated. Human space is now secure. 6 months had passed since humanity revealed its true military power to the galaxy. The transformation of galactic politics was complete and irreversible. Human ships patrolled trade routes that had been dangerous for centuries, while human bases provided security for worlds that had never known. Peace Admiral Ryan Collins commanded a fleet of over 300 vessels from his flagship as it orbited the former Krillian capital world. The planet had surrendered without resistance when human forces arrived to establish a new government. Collins looked down at the world through his command center windows and reflected on how quickly everything had changed. Admiral, his communication officer reported, we are receiving requests for human protection from 17 different star systems today. The demand for our services continues to grow. The human fleet had become the galaxy's police force by necessity rather than choice. Species that had suffered under aggressive empires for generations now looked to humanity for the protection their own governments could not provide. Captain Helen Rodriguez commanded the colony ship, UES New Horizon, as it approached a world that 3 alien species had been fighting over for decades. Helen was Dr. Elena Rodriguez's younger sister, and she shared the family talent for solving complex problems. The contested world would become humanity's first major colony outside Earth's solar system. New Horizon to surface control, Helen announced as her massive ship entered orbit. Human Colonial Authority is assuming administration of this system under Galactic Council Resolution 2847. All military forces will withdraw immediately. The 3 alien fleets that had been bombarding each other for years quietly departed as human warships took positions around the planet. None of them wanted to face the species that had destroyed the Krillian Empire in a single battle. Captain Maria Santos led the liberation of enslaved Valdorian colonies in what had been Krillian space. Her heavy cruiser squadron had freed over 2 million beings from forced labor camps and mining operations. The grateful Valdorians had become humanity's strongest allies in return for their freedom. Thunder to Liberation Command, Maria reported as her Marines secured another prison facility. Camp 17 has been liberated with 8,000 prisoners freed. Medical teams are treating the survivors. The liberation operations had made humanity famous across the galaxy as the only species willing to fight for the freedom of others. Alien governments that had ignored suffering for centuries now watched humans risk their lives to free people they had never met. Dr. Elena Rodriguez unveiled humanity's newest technological achievement at a gathering of alien scientists on Station Nexus. Her latest innovation was a mobile shipyard that could construct entire fleets while traveling through space. The implications terrified some aliens while others begged to learn the technology. This construction platform can produce a fully equipped battleship every 72 hours. Elena explained to the amazed alien engineers. We currently have 12 such platforms operating throughout human space. The alien scientists realized that human shipbuilding capacity was growing exponentially. While other species built ships in fixed locations over many years, humans could create fleets anywhere in space within weeks. Admiral Jake Morrison had been promoted to Supreme Commander of Human Forces and now coordinated military operations across a region of space larger than most alien empires. He stood in Earth's orbital command center looking at tactical displays that showed human influence spreading across hundreds of star systems. Commander, his aide reported, intelligence indicates that the Stellar Dynasty is preparing to test our resolve in the outer spiral region. They seem to believe we are overextended. Jake smiled as he considered the Dynasty's miscalculation. Like every other alien power, they still did not understand the true scope of human capabilities. The fleets they had seen were just the expeditionary forces built for galactic operations. Send a message to Dynasty leadership, Jake ordered. Inform them that any aggressive action will result in immediate response from Sol Defense Command. The mention of Sol Defense Command sent waves of concern through alien intelligence networks. While human expeditionary fleets operated throughout the galaxy, the home system remained protected by forces that dwarfed anything deployed in alien space. Commander Alex Turner established humanity's first deep space monitoring station in the void between galaxies. His facility would watch for threats from unknown regions while serving as a forward base for future human expansion. The galaxy was just the beginning of human ambitions. Ambassador Nicole Foster addressed the reformed Galactic Council from humanity's permanent seat as the newest major power. The council chamber had been restructured to accommodate human influence, with Earth's representatives holding positions of authority they had earned through military superiority. Council members, Nicole announced as she looked around the chamber filled with alien delegates. Humanity proposes the establishment of a Galactic Peace Enforcement Corps under human leadership. We will provide security while member worlds contribute resources and personnel. The proposal was approved unanimously as no alien government dared oppose human initiatives. The species that had once dismissed humans as primitives now competed for the privilege of supporting human operations. Intelligence Officer Ben Parker revealed the most closely guarded secret in human space during a classified briefing for Allied government leaders. The expeditionary fleets that had shocked the galaxy were not Earth's primary military forces, but specialized units designed for galactic operations. Ladies and gentlemen, Ben announced to the stunned alien officials, everything you have witnessed represents approximately 15% of total human military capability. Sol Defense Command maintains forces specifically designed to protect Earth that have never left our home system. The revelation that Earth's defensive fleet was 6 times larger than the expeditionary forces changed alien calculations about human power completely. Species that had considered challenging human expansion quietly abandoned those plans. Captain Santos received her promotion to Admiral as human forces continued to expand throughout former Krillian territory. Her success in liberation operations had made her famous across the galaxy as a symbol of human compassion and military effectiveness. Admiral Santos, her new aide, reported as she took command of the 3rd Expeditionary Fleet. We have received requests for liberation operations in 47 different systems. The demand continues to exceed our current capacity. Dr. Rodriguez announced that human shipyards were beginning construction of larger vessels designed for extended deep space operations. These new ships would carry entire cities' worth of people and equipment to establish human presence in distant regions of the galaxy, Admiral Collins concluded his report to Earth's leadership as he prepared for humanity's next phase of expansion. The galaxy had learned to respect human military power, but they had no idea that this was just the beginning of human ambitions. Earth Command, this is Collins reporting, he announced over the secure communication link. Galactic integration is complete. Local alien powers have been neutralized or allied. The galaxy is secure and ready for the next phase of human expansion. The response from Earth was immediate and clear. Acknowledged Admiral Collins. Begin preparations for extragalactic reconnaissance. Humanity's destiny lies among the stars, and we will not be limited by the boundaries others accept. As the story reached its conclusion, The galaxy had been forever changed by humanity's arrival. The species that had once seemed primitive and weak now commanded respect and fear from civilizations thousands of years older. The age of human dominance had begun, and the stars themselves would never be the same.